What's up YouTube? This is Abhinav Mahajan, and guys, today we have a question from our friend Shubham. So I got this question on Facebook. Abhinav, what's the role of repetition in sets? How to make a workout routine? How many sets should we train of each body part, and how many reps of these sets should I do? I'm totally confused. Please help me out. First of all, thank you so much Shubham for your question. And guys, let me start with this thing that there is no one fix for all. We all are different. We all have to try different things in order to see what works for us, but you have to do the things differently but in the same way, right? So I'm here to give you that same way, and I'm going to help you out how to design your workout routine and be as specific as possible with all the components for gaining muscle. First of all, I need to tell you, whatever routine you are designing, make sure that 60 to 70% of your moves come with compound movements. What do I mean by compound movements? They are the moves like bench press, the deadlifts, the squats, or the military presses. So these are the compound movements which include more muscle fibers in your workout, more muscle fiber in your moves, and that will help to stimulate more muscle growth. Now, the biggest benefit of including these compound movements is that they will include more of the muscles, right? So if you are doing only bicep curls, there you're isolating your biceps, right? But when you are doing, let's say, bench press, you're including so many muscle groups in just one single move. You're including your triceps, you're including your shoulders, and of course the major is the chest one, but also you're retracting your scapula, so you're including your back also. So first of all, 60 to 70% of your moves need to be compound movements. So let's say you are performing 10 exercises in a workout. So 6 to 7 exercises out of those 10 exercises need to be from compound moves. So this is the first and the foremost rule while designing your workout. The second point that I want to bring in your notice is to know that you have to hit each muscle group multiple times a week. Now it can be, normally if you're designing a workout split, it can be 2 times, right? That's what the normal split says. It's like, let's say on Monday you have a push workout, your bench press, let's say your chest, your triceps and your shoulders. On Tuesday you have pull and legs together, your back, your biceps and your legs. Then on Wednesday you take rest, and then on Thursday again you have your push workout, the same thing, chest, triceps and shoulders. And then on Friday, or you can take a break on Friday, and then on Saturday you can have your pull plus legs. So this is a normal workout split, or the basic workout split that I will recommend any of the beginners or the intermediates that are there. For, let's say, for more advanced athletes, you can use a push-pull day for Monday and Tuesday, push-pull legs, and then on Thursday you can go for full body, and then on Saturday you can go for full body. But let's keep these things very basics. As I explained you have to make sure that you hit each body part or each muscle group multiple times a week. That will give you an advantage over someone who is only using them, who's only hitting those muscle groups only once. And I have trained clients and I have so many experiences with my friends whom I've given some tips and tricks. And with my own body, I've seen this. Whenever I'm hitting my muscle groups twice or thrice a week, my gains, they just go through the roof. So that is what I will recommend you. Second point is that hit each muscle group at least multiple times a week or at least twice a week. So let's move on to the third point. With the third point comes how many repetitions to do. When it comes to repetitions, again, there's a lot of theories and ideas about you should do 6 to 8, or you should do 15 to 18, or you should keep the reps low, keep the reps high. Now, I'm going to save a lot of confusion. Yes, the amount of reps will be different for each and every individual, because there are different types of muscle fibers in each and every individual. But to be very honest, the sweet spot will be 8 to 12 reps. So you have to design your workout and keep those repetition range between 8 to 12 reps for each and every exercise, right? Keep the basics, and in the long run, when you will be more experienced, you will come to know that what is the actual rep range that will work for you. So it's more a trial and error, but in the beginning, please keep the rep range 8 to 12 sweet spot for hypertrophy range, right? For muscle gaining. Now, the next thing comes how to put in the sets. How many sets should you perform? Again, the same thing. As a basic rule, I won't recommend anyone going more than 16 sets per workout, right? So you can have this as the rule of thumb, or you can have it the basic rule. 16 sets is more than enough for stimulating proper muscle growth if your workout is really intense, if you're feeling each and every rep, if you're performing each and every set with high focus. So let's take an example. Let me give you an example here. Let's say you have a push workout, right? So let's say you start with your chest. So for chest, you can do 7 sets. Now 7 sets, it's completely up to you. Either you can include 2 exercises where you can do 4 sets of one exercise, compound move, let's say a bench press, and 3 sets of another exercise, let's say an isolation move, like say pec fly. Or what you can do is, what I recommend is you do 3 sets of a compound move, let's say flat bench press, then 2 sets more of another compound move, let's say inclined bench press, and then 2 sets of an isolation move, cable crossover. Now similarly, when it comes to shoulders, right? So you have push day, chest, you're done with 7 sets. With shoulders, you will do 5 sets. For 5 sets, 3 sets, one exercise for a compound move like military press, and 2 sets for an isolation move, let's say a side lateral raise. Now you're left with triceps, right? So for triceps, because triceps is a small muscle and it has already been stimulated by your chest and your shoulders, you don't need a lot of sets for that. So what you will do is 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. For triceps, 16 is the rule of thumb. So 16 minus 12, 4. So for triceps, you will do 4 sets. So 2 exercises, 2 sets for each. One for compound, let's say close grip bench press. That will be the compound move or the skull crushers, which is a sort of compound move, not exactly. And then you can go for a cable push down, isolation move, 2 sets more, right? And then we come to the next day, pull day, pull plus legs day. So because legs is a bigger muscle, you have to make sure that you have to include more sets for a bigger muscle, because there are more muscle fibers and you need to stimulate those muscle fibers in that bigger muscle to get more growth. So for legs, let's say you start with back, because back is a huge muscle, right? It's a huge muscle group. So you start with back, 7 sets, same thing, 3 exercises. First exercise, 3 sets. Second exercise, 2 sets. Third exercise, 2 sets. First 2 exercises will be the compound moves. Then you start with the legs, 5 sets. Again, same thing, 2 exercises for legs. For first exercise, you do 3 sets. For second exercise, you do 2 sets, right? So first will be the compound one. Second can be in isolation or compound, depending on how you're feeling that day. Now, the third will be your biceps. Again, biceps is a smaller muscle. When you're doing your back routine, the pulls or let's say the pull downs or any kind of a pulling movement, your biceps are already getting stimulated. So what you will do is, for biceps, 4 sets, 2 exercises. Now there are not many of the compound moves for biceps. So you will keep 2 exercises, 2 sets for the first exercise, 2 sets for the second exercise. Make sure you have the focus very high for each and every set. You feel each and every rep, right? So this is how you can design your sets in your workouts. Now the last thing is the rest intervals. And this is one of the most ignored things by the beginners and both the intermediates, because if you're not giving enough of time for the muscle to recuperate, right, what will eventually happen is that when you go back in the next set, right, you won't be having the same amount of energy to go through that. So, and the same thing in reverse. If you reverse the thing, if you are taking too much of rest, what will eventually happen, the stimulation that you've done with your muscle fibers in the previous set, you won't be having that amount of stimulation in the next set. So again, the rule of thumb is, if it's a compound movement, if it's like a movement like a bench press, if it's a squat, if it's a deadlift, the rule of thumb will be 90 seconds to 2 minutes of rest interval between, let's say, the spontaneous sets, between the adjacent sets. When it comes to isolation moves, 45 seconds to 1 minute, back-to-back sets, right? So this is the basic rule of thumb, how to design your rest intervals in your workout. So let's recap the whole thing. First of all, compound movements need to be included at least 60 to 70% of all your moves. Secondly, you need to hit your each muscle group multiple times a week. Twice is the best thing, but if you can do it, go for the 3 times a week, you'll have a much better advantage. But let's keep it to the split. The normal split that we use is the push on Monday, pull and legs on Tuesday, take a break, push on Thursday, take a break, pull and legs on Saturday. This is the best routine that you can do. Then we move on to the reps. 8 to 12 is the sweet spot. Then we move on to the sets. As I told you, for compound moves, for the sets, 16 is the sweet spot. 16, you do not need to do more than 16 sets. It will be a sweet spot for you. And as I said, compound movements need to be included more. So for compound moves, you need to include at least 60 to 70%. And I've explained that before, right? So, and then comes the rest intervals. For compound moves, it needs to be somewhere around 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. And for isolation moves, it needs to be 45 seconds to 1 minute. So, I hope, Shubham, if this was helpful for you, and I think I try to make it as simplified as possible. But still, if you have any doubts, you can leave a comment down below. And if you guys think that this was useful, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you soon. And guys, please bring in your questions, right? I'm happy to help you out in your reaching your fitness goals. Give me a chance. And till then, keep going, keep growing stronger.